It's still thinking. Now we're live. Oh boy. Now we're live. What's up? Phil's post-game show. Phil's losing the Mets. Eliminated from the playoffs. 3 games to 1. Best of 5. National League Divisional Series. The Phillies lose. I gotta at least say that tonight's game was entertaining. Unlike last night. And I'll even say game 1. I know Zach Wheeler pitched a great game, but there was nothing that I liked about that game. Game 2 had a great couple innings. But the Phillies are out of it. I tried to stand tall for Phillies fans and for our city by not doing the whole Met thing. Like, the Mets, they're hot. They're the Phillies in 2024. They're the Diamondbacks in 2024. And I think everybody felt it. Everybody was worried about it until they played the games. I decided I wasn't going to be worried about it. I was worried about them peaking all year long. Phillies played their best baseball of the year. I firmly believed it. And they did. Still a good team, but the offense for the second straight year is bad. I mean, tonight, just to get a run, it felt like they scored 5-6 runs. It's so excruciating just get one run. Ranger Suarez battled his ass off. What a great performance. He didn't even give you 5 innings, which meant Hoffman had to come in. It felt like a mistake to go back to him in the 6th inning. But they did. And just frustrating game. But we can sit here and micromanage Rob Thompson's decisions. And why did he leave Hoffman in there? Why did he bring in Estevez? Why didn't he have somebody else? I don't know. This offense sucks. And they need to make changes, period. They need to make changes. I don't know what those changes are. I would be shocked if Bohm and Stott were both on the team this year. I mean, Bohm's stock has went so far down since the All-Star break. I mean, we were celebrating Alec Bohm like, oh, man, he could have quit. He could have quit on this team, remember? What did he say? Get me the fuck out of here. I hate this fucking place. Delco Steve's with me. You can jump on Delco Steve. I hate this fucking place. I hate this place. And wow, they went to the World Series that year, and he was an all-star this year. He's got the cute girlfriend supposedly that's in the media or whatever her name is. And that's when it started going south with Bohm, by the way. But hi Steve, how are you, buddy?
I fucking hate it here too.
Yeah, I think that was you're almost like want to give him a pat on the back for battling tonight, but then it's like, well, who are we? Bad news, what? Just like a wild card team that limped into the playoffs? No, the Phillies have been in the World Series picture the last 3 years, and to not score runs, and I actually thought they were much better tonight at taking pitches, working counts. They weren't just up there swinging at everything, right? They actually
Turner was.
Well, Turner sucks. All right.
Yeah,
Where's Jack? Where's Jack? Jack, can you give him another standing ovation or maybe a wedgie?
Jesus. He's the only one. He was swinging at trash.
JT, no impact at all.
He got on base twice. Fuck.
Yeah, I guess he did.
I'm small victories with that. But,
Trey Turner also got 2 hits the other night. And he started the rally to win game 2, but you don't pay him, you don't give him a $300 million contract to get a couple singles or get a single and start a rally. You pay him that money to be one of your big bats in the lineup and to hit home runs and to hit for power and to drive in runs, and he did none of that. And Bryce and Castellanos had their game. Bryce had a hit tonight, had a double tonight. He scored. It's just not enough guys doing anything. Marsh is a 0, unfortunately. Marsh, is he good enough to be a starting outfielder? Yeah, well, I mean, not if you have Rojas as your center fielder. He's not.
No.
You need to trade in the outfield. I don't know how you come back with Bowman Stott. You're coming back with the same team next year? You can't. You can't.
Yeah, this team missed their shot the last 2 years.
They did. Yep. Yeah, now they're the team that can't get over the hump.
Well, it just sucks because, like we said it last week, like we're in the same position as the Braves were the last 2 years. Yep. And I'm going to stand by what I said last week, that the bye is not beneficial whatsoever. So
it hasn't been.
What's the point in being the best team all year long? Like, yeah, we were the first team to 40, 50, 60. I don't even remember exact how many they got, but I think they were the first team to 90 too. Yep. And what does that do for you when the Mets were the best team in baseball from May 31st on?
Yeah, but it also, when the Phillies won 102 games and they lost to the Cardinals, it was the same thing, except there was no bye. They ran into a hot team in the Cardinals. They didn't have a bye, but it was still the same thing. Yeah, like the bye, the Dodgers look like they're going to lose to the Padres.
Yep, they're going to go. They're going to be 0-3, and they're going to be 0-3 after the bye.
Yep. So, dude, Steve, we said it, but like I can't drive myself crazy with the bye's a bad thing. The bye's a bad thing. The Phillies aren't going to be the hot team. They've played their best baseball. I think a lot of people felt that. But until you actually play the games, you don't really know. But now we have evidence, like another year of shit. I think the bigger problem is the offense sucks, and this isn't this year. They didn't have the bye last year. Their bats were smoking, and then what happened? Adjustments were made, and they couldn't hit squat. When this team doesn't hit home runs, they don't score runs. That's a problem.
I think they had 8. I think the total was 8 runs since they came home from Arizona in playoffs. So game 6 and 7 last year in this series.
Yep.
It's like, that's insane. Like, that's insane.
I was typing up a tweet to rip Dave Dombrowski, and I ran out of characters, and then I X'd out of it. But Dave Dombrowski deserves some shit here. At the trade deadline, and I'm not like people wanted this starting pitcher and that starting pitcher or whatever. I was realistic. Like, you just need to get a bat. Even if it's a platoon bat, you need a right-handed bat. Maybe you need something else. He got a reliever. I don't even know remember the guy's name, the left-handed reliever. He was fine. I don't think he didn't pitch a whole lot in the playoffs. But Austin Hayes was your main move. And Estevez was a good trade, even though you gave up real pitching prospects to do it. Besides the grand slam tonight, he was good. He was fine.
Didn't he give up like 14? Like, what was the stat everyone was just posting around on Twitter after the game? He gave up 14 runs in 28 innings here or something like that. Like, that's right? That's what I was reading.
But I mean, I don't know. He was good in the regular season. It's not a slam dunk, but he got the best closer on the market. They needed a closer. He got it done. I'm not going to rip Dombrowski for that. Right? I'm going to rip him for Austin Hayes. That was and he would have. I don't think he gets another at bat if the Phillies advance or they win tonight. He was that bad. He gave you no impact. To where, honestly, dude, this team desperately needed an impact bat. Desperately needed one. Marsh wasn't giving you squat. Weston Wilson actually should have probably gotten some at bats before he did tonight. They should have never given Austin Hayes a start in Game 3 that they did. But like they needed another impact bat and they didn't get it. And when you go back to Pat Gillick, and he's a Hall of Famer for a reason, and Dombrowski's a Hall of Famer. He's done a great job since he's been here. But Pat Gillick traded for Matt Stairs, which was a minor move. Pat Gillick traded for Joe Blanton, which solidified the rotation. Pat Gillick traded for Scott Air at that trade. Actually, it was actually after the trade deadline. He was a big part of what the Phillies did, being that left-handed reliever. In the offseason, he traded for Brad Lidge. He traded for Jamie Moyer the previous trade deadline, who became one of the starting pitchers that led the team in wins that next year. He's 45 years old or whatever. He got rid of Bobby Abreu, so he shed salary before that. He made a couple of really good trades, not only at the trade deadline, but in the offseason. What's the best moves that Dombrowski's made here? Listen, I like Brandon Marsh. And I'm not going to try to debate whether the catcher that they traded, who I'm blanking on his name right now.
O'Hearn.
Logan O'Hoppe. I mean, I think he had 19 or 20 home runs in a limited amount of plate appearances this year. He's already better than JT offensively, where JT is right now. Right. So I'm not saying that you keep him, but what you netted from that is Brandon Marsh, who's a nice player, but I don't even know if he's a full-time starter. He can't play against lefties. So what other moves are we talking about that he's made? Like, he knows how to finish a roster. He hasn't finished this roster. He just hasn't.
And there was the one thing that was out there at the deadline were big bats. Like, you could have got Roberts. Not that it's like he was a bit of a head case, but like, hey, you want someone that can pound a ball? He's a good guy. Rooker was available. There was a lot of good options. Chisholm.
Yep, he was out there. He's had impact with the Yankees in the
playoffs. You don't think his attitude, his vibe would have been good for this clubhouse?
Yep. Yep. I mean, I agree with you. They needed some spice. They needed a spark. And I mean, like I said, I had to actually look at the box score and be like, yeah, they only scored a run. It actually felt like that they had a good night tonight because they just weren't going up there and swinging at anything that was thrown. I mean, I thought it was a well-played game. Unfortunately, there's no injuries. It almost felt like this, like they were just hanging on, like, oh man, there was just too many injuries. They were decimated by injuries. No, they weren't. They were friggin' healthy. The Braves lost every all-star that they had. MVP winner, Cy Young top candidate. More guys than that, other all-stars. And they hung until the end of the year. That's what it felt like in the series with the Phillies. They were just hanging on. God. And Bohm drives me absolutely nuts.
Well, and to top it off, he's the only one that's even produced a run. And then he got shafted on the foul ball call.
Yeah.
Like that was 100% fair.
That was fair.
You can't convince me otherwise that that's not a good call or whatever. But it's just like that changes the game. Like, I'm not saying that they win the game there, but if that's a double, you got the tie. You would have 2 innings back to back with the tying run at home plate.
Yep. No, you're right.
So
no,
I don't know.
Right.
It's like, it just sucks that, like, yeah, we're gonna sit like But what was yesterday? Boom saw 5 pitches on 4 plate appearances or something like that.
Yeah, but since he got benched, I think he saw 8 pitches and 8 pitches and 6 plate appearances.
Yeah, like that's
almost impossible.
That's nuts. But like, so he would play better today, but no one else did anything. No one else did anything. Like,
nobody stepped up.
I think they had 4 hits. Like, they had more walks or hit by batters than hits. Like,
Diaz, he was. Vince is right. He was trying to give you I mean, it's right there, and he walks 2 guys, and it's like, are they going to tie the game? No, they're not. They're not going to. No, they're not.
Oh,
I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in anything.
I was prepared to be hurt in that 9th inning, regardless. I was saying, I'm like, oh, cool. It's like, we hit Schwarber's going to hit a home run here. It's be 4-4. Then we're just going to go to the bottom of the 9th and walk off home run to
right. Yeah, that would have been the way to do it.
I was ready to be hurt no matter what. It was.
Yeah. It was, even with the lead and the Mets blowing those opportunities. I mean, Jesus, they had the bases loaded the first 2 innings, and Rangers up there. Like, don't tell him the bases are loaded, man. He's just mowing them down with the curveball. Not really worried about it.
That stat was wild. The first pitcher with 4 hits and 2 walks in the first 2 innings and don't give up a run.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to do, but he did it. But even Ranger didn't feel like he almost had a complete game. And it's like, he didn't even go 5 innings. The bullpen to go friggin' 3 or 4 innings with the bullpen. And I know it's like this in the playoffs, in particular with the Phillies. But man, you're talking about stressful innings. Try to get through anything.
And over and over. It's like, and the fact that Ranger was able to get out of that 3rd jam with Hoffman coming in.
Unbelievable.
It's like how many times are you going to be able to do it before the floodgates open? And turns out the answer is 3 times you get away with it. 4th time you get screwed.
Yeah. So I was trying to, during the game, because I thought they were going to bring Hoffman back in, and I was trying to look to see how many multiple innings he threw in his career, and I wasn't able to find it fast enough before I gave up and just started watching the game. But yeah, I know that like listen, it's now the 6th inning, and you have to piece together 6, 7, 8, 9 out of your bullpen, and you only used Hoffman for 2/3 of an inning. I don't care.
He only threw 7 pitches.
And he threw 7 pitches. So it's not silly that Rob Thompson put Hoffman back out there. But I'm just telling you that I wouldn't have done it. You got out of the inning. You still hadn't given up a run. I'm bringing in Sanchez at that point. I'm bringing in somebody at that point. I'm not bringing Hoffman back out because it's different. Throwing 7 innings is one thing. Going back to the dugout, sitting. How long was it that bottom half of the inning?
It was at least 15 minutes.
Or the top half of the inning. Let me see.
It was at least 15 minutes. They were talking about. That's what they were talking about on the telecast.
Were they? I don't even remember.
Oh, I can't forget the annoyance of Adam Wainwright and AJ Brzezinski.
Yeah, they're awful.
They were brutal.
Yeah, because you had Harper double, pitching change, Castellanos, then Bohm walked, then Real Muto struck out, then another pitching change. Peterson came in and got stopped to ground out. Yeah, so that was a long inning. So now you're bringing Hoffman back out after 15 minutes, and that's not something that he does a lot, if really at all. And that's a playoff game, and I already don't trust him. Right? He was wild. Like of all the high leverage guys, I trusted him the least.
He had a 40 ERA in the playoffs. A 40 4-0 before the dot.
I would not have brought him back out. I thought it was a mistake when he was doing it. And it turned out that it ended up being a mistake. But, the game still wasn't out of reach, even with that. But
nope.
You have to start chipping away. And 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. We had a single by Castellanos in the 8th. And then we had...
That was the Bohm foul ball inning.
Yes. Which was...
Yeah, he topped it over to shortstop the next pitch.
Yep. And then you get your first 2 batters on in the 9th inning, and you do nothing with it. Cody Clemens strikes out. Marsh flies out.
How do you not just stand there for 7 pitches with the way he was pitching and not swinging anything?
Man, he's erratic. No doubt about it. He's erratic. Good walk by Real Muto getting up there. Took 5 straight pitches.
You can't tell me that he wouldn't have walked Cody Clemens if Cody Clemens doesn't swing.
Took 5 straight pitches. So they didn't swing at Diaz until the 14th pitch of the inning. Yeah, he had 3 called strikes. The rest of them were balls. And then Clemens ball, strike looking ball, 2-1 count. And then he threw 2 straight fastballs that he swung and missed. And then Schwarber went down pretty quick in that at bat. Yeah, it was a strike ball, foul ball, strike swinging. And he was 101 miles an hour on that 4-seam fastball. He was throwing him a bunch of sliders. I don't know what you do that gets them over the hump. Doesn't it feel like that the core of this team, like the run's over? Doesn't it feel like that the Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos has actually been good. He's had a lot of moments in the playoffs. He'll be back next year. I wouldn't try to get rid of him now.
Vince took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
that would be hype.
And then and then you have Trey Turner. So what are you going out and spending $450 million on Soto? I don't necessarily know if that. Is that a great idea? He's a great player.
Well, Schwarber's off the books, right?
No, he's still under contract.
He's got 1 more year left?
Please so. Hold on. So I haven't heard any talk about it. I believe he still has he signed a 4-year contract.
Oh, it was 4. Yeah, this is his 3rd year.
Yeah, so he has 1 more to go. Castellanos has at least another year to go. It's like so Stott was a former first-round draft pick. Bohm is a former top 5 first-round draft pick, and he was an all-star this year, and he had a good year. But are they making enough of an impact? And does Bohm hurt the chemistry on this team? Do they look at Bohm as a big baby? Because that's how I look at him when I watch these games. First of all, he's got to cut his fucking hair. All right, enough. You're not in high school anymore, Bohm. Cut your hair.
It's getting a little wild.
It's stupid. Never when Nick Foles had the long hair, and I had the same thing. I'm like, all right, Nick, I get it. Like, you're 23, 24 years old. You're in college. Cut your hair. You're a professional now. Yo, boom, cut your hair. It looks stupid. All right? So cut your hair. But, like, how do you come back with the same team? Because what other moves can you make? What other trades are you making?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of locked in. You're locked in at catcher first, short for sure. And then, I mean, I guess anything.
You would have to get a replacement if you traded Bohm or Stott. So it's like you would have to trade for it.
I could see Sosa getting one of those spots. The way if Topper's still the manager, he gets moved right into that.
Sosa gets exposed when he has to play every day. He is a very good utility, can bounce around. He did great when Trey Turner was injured. He gets exposed after a while.
Yeah, no, I completely agree on that. But they seem to love him, so I could see that being something. It's like but again, what are you trading Stott or Bohm for? Like more pitching? Are you trading to replace the other positions? Like,
well, and the other thing is that what team, all due respect to Alec Bohm, but what team's giving you an impact player in return for Alec Bohm? Guy that doesn't have power. He was productive, almost 100 RBIs this year, and that's with having an injury where he's out for a while. He would have had over 100 RBIs. What was he doing in the field? What was the play that he had where he charged the ball and he's not making a play on the ball? You charge the ball and you throw it to first. What the fuck was he doing?
And the second one, or the first one, it felt like he could have just went after the guy and got him and throw it across. It's like, I don't know. It's like I would have just been okay with him getting the guy out of third on the first scenario, and then he fucked it up anyway.
Yeah. I'm not being petty about the hair. Sorry, I'm not being petty about the hair. Do you agree you should cut the hair?
As a former long hair man myself, I don't care.
When did you have long
hair? Before I knew you.
Really?
It was, yeah, I used to have it. I used to have it like past my shoulders.
But did you wear it in a ponytail?
No.
No. What was the comp? How you wore it? Who would be the comp of how you wore it? Like Fabio or Brandon Marsh? Did you put?
No, it was okay. I'm not that long. I'm not that long. No, it wasn't. It was like just past the neck collar area.
Right.
Yes, nice. Exactly. A mullet.
So it was a Delco mullet.
Yeah.
Pretty Delco long hair. What was I looking for right here from Oz? And he's 100% right. That's why I say with Soto. You want to go out and spend $450 on Soto? You can't. Like, the Yankees tried to buy their way a championship since 2009, and they failed every year. They've bought every big free agent, Cy Young Award winners. They didn't stop, and they haven't sniffed a championship. So, to me, going out and getting another $300 million player, that is not something I would do. And I'm not telling you that you want to come back to spring training with the same team, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of buzz about the Phillies if that's the case. You would have to start winning a lot of games early to get people on board. But I'm not telling you I know what the moves are right now, but I just think you need a different mix of players. He needs to make a good trade. You can't just buy everything. It don't work.
I mean, it just sucks that the guys we're talking about replacing, though, are the younger part of the team, where it's like, oh, maybe they were going to be the next guys that take over for when the older guys start moving out. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, not that Trey or Harper are going anywhere anytime soon, because they got however many years left on their deal, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping that these young guys would be the next part of the piece that was like, all right, they just fall right into the building of years. But
yeah, Trey's supposed to be a part of the championship team that goes forward. It now feels like you have to regroup and retool and start all over again. Marsh looks like a homeless person. Well, I mean, I can tell you this.
His needs to get cut.
Yeah, but doesn't that work for him? I'm not telling you I like it, but doesn't it work with the beard and everything else he's from Georgia? It is weird.
It's all got to go. It's all got to go.
It's disgusting. But Bohm just has this, he said, Justin Timberlake still had that goofy freaking curly hair when he was 30. I feel the same way about Bohm. Like, you got to cut it. You're not a kid anymore.
I mean, he can at least shorten it. Like, you know,
Cut your hair.
you can just have it like out the back of the hat and that's it. Like, it doesn't need to be like 2 feet long.
What guys are coming soon? I want to know what guys are coming up soon that's going to take over and it's going to give this team real juice. I know Painter's coming up. Does that mean that he's going to come up and have a huge impact a year off of Tommy John? I don't know that. I'm not relying on Painter to be anything but my 6th starter next year. I hope he makes an impact. But who else do they have coming up? They don't have position players that are ready to come up and contribute. Like, if someone tells me Aiden Miller's years away from coming up, their first-round draft pick from this year. Google his stats.
I was about to say Crawford.
Crawford is not ready. Crawford is not ready to come up.
That's the only guy I even know. I think that's the only position player I even know that we have.
Yeah, like Aiden Miller showed he's got potential to be maybe better than a Bryson Stott. I never thought Stott was going to be a great player. And then he had 2023 where he really took a jump. And it's like, wow, this dude's pretty good. And then he had his moments in the postseason. But you didn't see that this year. He really regressed. Justin Crawford, who was their first-round draft pick a couple years ago, is 20 years old. He needs to grow into his body. But, like, he had a good year last year. But we're talking about an impact player. He does not hit for power. He doesn't even hit extra base hits. He's like a slap hitter. Speed is his game. Defense is his game. He's not ready to help his dad. But probably not as good offensively. Maybe he's probably going to be a higher average hitter, but he does not. He hits a lot of ground balls, a lot of singles. He improved with it this year, but yeah, like Crawford's years away, Aiden Miller's years away. Yeah, like they're not stepping into a world. Like, what are we talking about with this team right here? This is a team that was supposed to win the World Series. This is a team that went backwards and weren't supposed to take another step backwards.
We've literally
a World Series team.
Literally a step backwards every season.
Yeah.
Without the championship.
Yeah. I mean, like I love JT. I love JT. All right. He's very good defensively and everything else. He does not have the offensive impact that he once did. And he was injured this year. Now, guess what? When you sign a catcher that age, guess what you should expect as he gets into his 30s? That he's not going to be as good. He's 33 years old right now. All right. Yep. So are you expecting JT to be better next year offensively or worse? Now, I'll say this. He needs to be better in clutch situations. He wasn't bad this year. He was still good for a catcher.
Yeah. What was he? He was batting what, 260?
Yeah. 266, 14 homers. And he missed time. So like, he had a good year. But like, the arrow's not pointed up with JT. It's pointed the other way. He's 33 years old. Well, but like, he's your catcher going forward. You're not getting rid of him. Yeah, I don't. They're kind of stuck with the roster they have, unless they get creative. And I don't know what you do that's going to matter next year. Because can you expect any of these players to take a jump? Right? You could, like, last year or the year before, you could say Stott makes that jump. He's going to be an all-star. Bohm makes that jump. We saw Stott make a jump. He went backwards. We saw Bohm make a jump, but then by the end of the year, he was regressing all over again. And honestly, like right here with Bohm is what I worry about. His head, he's all over the place. He's very emotional, which is why I question that once he started dating that girl, if that's where he got lovesick. And then you know what happens. Travis Kelce's never been the same player since falling in love.
I don't know. Did you see his game Monday night?
I did. He was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. I'm like, and I'm saying this with Bohm too. I'm saying it tongue in cheek. Don't get me wrong. But anyway,
dude, that's a huge thing with with golfers though. Like that's like they get married, everyone's like, don't bet them to win anything for a couple years because like it happens all like Rory did it, JT, Jordan Spieth did it, Ricky Fowler did it. It's nuts.
Well, think about it. It's only natural. You go from being a single guy that like, what's the focus all the time? Golfing, probably having some drinks after your rounds and stuff, but like your sole focus is pretty much on golfing. You don't have to be home at night. You don't have to, like, you can go do whatever the hell you want. then you get that girlfriend, that long-term girlfriend, then you get married and you have responsibilities. And I can tell you, being married isn't easy. Having kids isn't easy. It affects you. It affects my personal life. It affects my professional life. Look at Steve laughing. But he knows it's true.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
he knows
good
it's
over
true.
here.
Haven't I improved with not talking about stuff on here and not getting myself?
Oh, you've been doing a great job.
Okay, thank you.
Doing a great job.
But
I don't think we would have lasted this long if you were still talking.
Well, no, I'd be doing 5 nights a week if I kept talking about it because I wouldn't have a wife to go.
Yeah, you'd be paying for alimony.
Yeah, I'd be child support and alimony for sure. But personal stuff like that can affect you. But I don't know. Just not how it was supposed to end, but I can't say I'm surprised.
Once I saw them blow the Wheeler start, it's like that's it.
I had said before the series, if they lose that game, they lose the series, and it's true.
It's like you have one of the best pitchers. It's like think about what Detroit's doing right now. They lose game 1, they win their Scooble game. All they have to do is pull off one more game, and they get their ace back in again. That's all the Phillies had to do is win the Wheeler game. If you pull out game 2, you lose. Even if you lose 3 and 4,
you still have them. Yeah,
you still have a shot with one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball. And to anyone out there that's saying they should have left Wheeler in there, you guys are fucking morons. Like for game 1, for game 1, I saw a lot of people like, oh, they took out Wheeler. It's like he had 111 pitches. What did you expect them to do?
Yeah, he's not going to pitch more than that. And he was gassed, and you had a fresh bullpen that unfortunately pitched like shit.
Yeah, there are 2. How many teams can say they have 2 relievers make as the All-Star team in history? Like, I don't know. We had how many pitchers make the All-Star team? 5.
And Estevez was an All-Star before. Yeah. With the starting pitching, 3 starting pitchers.
Yep, 3 starting pitchers and 2 relievers. And who fucking shit the bed for you? The relievers.
Live by the long ball, die by the long ball. Philadelphia Collins, I used to say it with the team from 2008 on. If that's how you're going to win in October when you face better pitchers, you face better bullpens, and it's cold out.
I was about to say the weather. It's not July where the balls are flying out of Citizens Bank every other day.
It's not. It's a different game. It is a different game. And I always felt like that the Phillies were at a disadvantage with how they produced on offense. And I'm not looking for small ball and blah, 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 blah. But whatever. Yeah. Paul Jolivitz last night I retweeted him a couple times. He wanted a bullpen game or to pitch Wheeler tonight. And he said that he would under no circumstance pitch Ranger Suarez. So even though the Phillies lost the game, he looks like an idiot because Ranger came out and had a great game. He did, even though he didn't last 5. But yeah, it's I don't know. Feels worse than 2011. I don't agree with that. That was Ryan Howard tore his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
That felt like it was over. This doesn't feel like it's over. It just feels like it's going to be really tough to do anything other than what they're doing right now. That makes sense? Now, how they get the World Series? What moves did they make to get to the World Series? You're set with Wheeler, which is a good thing. You're set with Nola, which is fine.
And Sanchez is locked in.
Is Sanchez, is him being now like kind of your number 2? Is there any worry that he comes back to earth a little bit next year? Ranger is your number 4. You still have good starting pitching. Hoffman's a free agent. Estevez is a free agent. So you're going to have to either re-sign some of those guys or you're going to have to go out and get your own guys. But like for the most, like I just said it, your 4 starters are under contract. They're not going anywhere. So you have your starting pitching. That's a good thing. But isn't your lineup pretty much the same way?
Yeah,
you're going to have to make a
left
trade.
field. Left field is the only position you could really theoretically just plug and play somebody into without trading for it. Or trading out your guys. You have to make a spot.
Yeah.
It's
so I think Andrew Painter is, I think he's your 6th starter, your 5th/6th starter next year. I'm not asking him to do too much. He doesn't. His innings need to be managed. He needs whatever they've decided and whatever program they're going with. They need to go with it. You have Taijuan Walker. He's going to be under contract if you keep him. I don't see why you wouldn't keep him. Otherwise, you're just paying him to go away.
Pay him to go the fuck away, please.
Just have him as your long guy and just come out and just pulverize him.
I was going to say, but then you just got to accept that you're going to lose every single game that he's in.
So people are saying 2023 felt worse. Well, sure. You had 2 games to at home to go to the World Series. It definitely did. Like, honestly, I'm kind of more sad than mad at this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this was just this is how the Braves fans had to feel the last 2 years, where it's you just flame out against your rival. Like, I don't know. It's if you told me this was against the Padres, I wouldn't even be. I'd be nothing. I'd be like, well, that sucked.
They ran out of gas. They had the same approach that they did last year against Arizona. The problem with Arizona was they were mashing and mauling the ball until game 3 of the NLCS. This offense hadn't been good the entire playoff.
Nope.
Which is, only 4 games, but still. So the offense is like, wow, we're in trouble with this offense. Diamondbacks made an adjustment. I mean, that 2023 obviously hurts a lot worse. But to me, this year feels like the end of the run. And now it's like, all right, how do you get over the hump? You need to make moves to get over the hump. Going with the existing core and the existing players ain't working. That's not going to work. And your one move that you had was Trey Turner. That doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction either. So I don't know. Yes, I think Schwarber. Well, Schwarber will be back next year. If they can trade Castellanos in a move that they think makes sense, they may. He was also really productive this year. I don't want to lose his production. The Phillies' problem wasn't Castellanos. He was competitive. I know he drives people crazy with how streaky he is. I don't care. He's good.
Yeah, the problem was with Stott not taking a jump, Marsh not taking a jump, Bohm declining from his jump that he had at the beginning of the year. The bullpen in the playoffs was a concern, but the bullpen all regular season wasn't a concern. Like, so it's just they're all like, I feel like every position is like a plus position minus a few, and it's kind of hard to upgrade your team when you already have so many pluses. Like, and then they fail in the big spots. It's you can't just swap out plus positions for other plus positions. It just doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't, Delco Steve. This is not an easy offseason for Dave Dombrowski, but he put himself in this situation. This is what he did. Yankees up on the Royals in the top of the 8th, 3-2. That series is tied 1-1. Dodgers up on the Padres 3-0.
They already chased Cease too.
Yep, they sure
did. Sucks for me.
Let me tell you something. You bet it.
I bet Cease.
Oh boy, what, like strikeouts?
It was 6 strikeouts. It was plus. He got 1.
You talk about Mets Phillies series. It was good. Citi Field was a great atmosphere. Mets fans, Phillies fans. I thought it was a lot of fun. Despite the Phillies losing, it was a fun series. The Dodgers and Padres doesn't seem like it's fun. Both of them. Padres fans are crazy, and we know people in Los Angeles are crazy too.
I think I'm having a blast watching this series.
I am too.
The Profar and Betts almost hit another freaking first inning home run tonight. The shit with Profar and Betts hitting home runs at each other,
and then Manny Machado throwing at Dave Roberts which was the biggest overblown thing I've ever seen.
Dave Roberts is officially
what a wimp.
number one seed in the soft bracket. Like,
yeah, I have a P word to call him. Oh my god, man!
Like number one seed by a lot.
When I saw the reverse angle after just hearing what he said, and then I didn't see the actual angle for probably a day, and thinking like, wow, Machado threw it at
he must have threw a line drive
that's pretty effed up. Right. Exactly. Like he literally wasn't trying to hit him. It was trying to bounce it right in front of him. And then you see it and it's like, oh, come on. Like really? It must be gamesmanship, dude. It's got to be gamesmanship.
It looked like he freaking lobbed it. Like
he did lob it.
No, I'm saying I couldn't tell from like the throw part, but when the ball comes in, it's just like it just comes in like so gently.
Yeah, so
I couldn't believe it.
No, but so like the Mets and Phillies thing, like that was cool because it was the Phillies and the Mets haven't been in it, and both ballparks are pretty electric. The Padres and Dodgers stuff, these teams hate each other, and I love it. Did you see Machado what he did last night? On the base paths, it helped get the inning going. They scored all the runs in one inning.
I heard about it, but I missed it at that point.
So he's on first base. Freddie Freeman, who's a right-handed throwing first baseman, ground ball to him. It's a difficult throw already for him to go to second base because if you're left-handed, you're able to throw it, and then the ball, it's an easier line to second base as opposed to being right-handed. Pat Burrell used to struggle with this throw. Rhys Hoskins used to struggle with this throw. For a right-handed first baseman, right-handed throwing first baseman, you really got to move and then make that throw to get a better angle. Well, Manny Machado was on the grass. He intentionally went in the grass to make that throw even more difficult. He should have been called out. I can't believe the umpire missed it. And he didn't get called out. Freddie Freeman launched it over the second baseman. And it was like, damn, I love that kind of shit. I didn't realize Manny Machado, because remember what we heard, which was, oh, well, he doesn't, his personality doesn't fit Philadelphia. And Bryce Harper's much better. And Bryce Harper's great. Don't get me wrong. Manny Machado's got a lot of he's a bad MFer, Manny Machado. He's constantly mixing it up with stuff. He's a dirty player. I like it, man. I like the Padres team.
He was talking shit to somebody too the other day.
Yeah, who was he? He was. Yeah.
Flaherty, the pitcher.
Flaherty was all mad.
I wanted him to come out and just smack him upside the head. Oh my god, dude, Tatis is a beast, man. He's been on fire.
Padres are good. This is a good series. Dodgers.
Yeah, I need the Padres to win just for my own sanity. So, because if it's Dodgers Mets, I think I'm rooting for the Mets. And that sounds so dirty.
I
can't root for the Dodgers.
You know what I won't? You know what I'll do? I just won't watch it. And I hope the American League team wins the World Series. I'll root for the Padres. I love the Padres.
As I'm saying, I'll root for the Padres for Tatis and just like Profar's a great story. Like,
he sure is, man. Absolutely. Yep.
$1 million contract and he balls out this year. Love it.
Yep. I remember when he was a really, really highly regarded shortstop, and with the Rangers, and he just never panned out. They moved him to third base. He moved around, but he always had the tools. And man, he's turned himself into an all-star player.
I love the Rob and Mookie Betts the other night, and then acting like he didn't catch it.
Everybody, every announcer that did the game called it a home run. It's pretty funny.
But the best part is the game last night, Mookie hits the home run, and he thought he fucking robbed him again, and he did it this time. He's running into the dugout, and Profar turns around. He's like, I don't have it.
No. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, I would love to. The company that my wife works for, there's one of their big offices is in San Diego, and she was saying oh yeah, they were asking me if I'd be interested in joining this department, but they, you can't be on remote on the East Coast because you're dealing with West Coast or whatever, blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, let's move. Yeah, let's move. Like, when can you get that job? Let's go. And
twist my arm.
Which she's not, because her parents are here and my parents are here. It matters less for me, but yeah. Anyway, there you go. Well, Delco Steve, here I'll give you some good news. You want good news or bad news first? Because they're both the same thing.
The Eagles are back on Sunday.
We now can turn our full attention to the Eagles. That's the
better. The Flyers are back on Friday. Let's go.
Let me tell you something. All right. I did a show with Bill Matz. Bill Matz came on my PHLY show, Broad Street Hockey.
Yep.
And I'm ready to go in. There's a palpable excitement with
Get on the wagon, baby.
And it feels real to me. And it feels like a good time to get on.
Hey, because even if they don't,
like a good time to get on, Delco.
Even if they don't make the playoffs this year, we got the building blocks going now.
Hold on a second. What do you mean? Even if we don't make the playoffs this year?
I know.
No.
No, I'm just saying they got the young guys that are ready to step up. So it's going to be a fun team to watch regardless if they don't make the playoffs. I'm saying there's a shot that they have a good chance to make the playoffs if they compete the way they are capable of playing. But they're also a young team. So we'll see.
All right. No, I need playoffs.
They'll be a fun team to watch. They're not going to be putting up stinkers every other freaking night.
Yeah, you get it. I lived this with Eric Lindros. The Flyers were bad. Bob Clark left the organization because he didn't get along with Ed Snyder's son Jay. He left the organization. He took the North Stars. They won did they win a Stanley Cup or they went to a Stanley Cup? Well, he was with the Panthers and he was with the North Stars.
I don't believe they won.
He might have won a cup with the North Stars, but I know he took Florida and Minnesota to Stanley Cups are close. And then he came back, and he wasn't even the GM when he came back, but they went from being the Flyers, and I watched the Flyers a lot when I was a kid. They went from being the Flyers to being bad. And then the Lindros move happened, and that was legit. And that's what this Mitchkov thing feels like right now, to a lesser extent. Don't get me wrong. Lindros is the best prospect since Gretzky to come into the league, and he was right from Jump Street. He was this big, physical monster that would come on the ice and look for somebody to crush.
Yeah, and Mitchkov is not that.
No, he is definitely not that. But he's skilled, which is what his team desperately needs.
Dude, he was potting goals left and right in preseason, so hopefully it just rolls right into the regular season on Friday. 10:00 start, which kind of shit, and I got a wedding to go to. But
yeah, they start on the West Coast. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Back to, I think it's 4 games on the West Coast.
Yeah, they start 4 games on the West Coast. Amazing that I know this because I was working with Bill Matz. Yeah, so we're gonna have to.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do. I was talking to Bill about it. We're gonna have to do some Flyers watch parties or something out and about because Broad Street Hockey, his show has a really, really good following. It was actually the 2017 draft. You can tell me who it was. It was like the 2nd or 3rd pick, and they didn't get the right guy. He sucked.
Oh, when we picked Nolan Patrick.
Nolan Patrick, yes. But we were at Smith's in Center City, and I had done shows at Smith's in Center City for like, I don't know, a couple of years with the Fanatic, like Tony Bruno shows, or you know what I mean? Like we do midday show out there, and we'd be lucky. And again, this was during lunchtime, but we'd be lucky to get a couple of tables of people to come out, right? Because you always feel bad when somebody's paying for you to come out and like nobody shows up, and you're like, oh, well, this sucks. So like we would get a couple tables of people to come out to where you didn't feel like a total loser. Man, I do a remote for it was the night of the draft, and I'm working at night at WIP, and Broad Street Hockey has like a draft party. Dude, there might have been 500 people in there that came for Broad Street Hockey. It's unbelievable. Jonesy came over with Joe Wechter, which was a lot of fun. He came on the air with me. I just remember being like, dude, like you got something going here.
We got diehards.
Yeah,
we
man.
Got diehards, baby.
I look at it a lot like the process 76ers. All the
this is way past the process 76ers.
But you have that that core Flyer fans that are just starved for the Flyers to be good.
Yep.
So they can actually enjoy it.
Yeah, Mitchkov is our Joel Embiid piece, but thankfully didn't have to wait 3 years for him.
Correct. Yep. Vince is going to a watch party. I'm saying like it's already in the works. I'm trying to put some things together to where we can do a PHLY and have a watch party with Broad Street Hockey. Cause I'm ready. I need something to turn my attention to. I don't know if I can just do straight 76ers this year. Like I've been doing for the last couple of years. They just drive me nuts. 76ers.
Hockey's a better sport anyway.
Well, I don't know. All right. Like now I got to turn attention to the Eagles, which makes me feel any worse. Why the Eagles are 9-point favorites this week? Now it's down to 8.5, I think. 9-point favorites, 8.5 point.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong? Deshaun Watson, 80% completion percentage on Sunday, guaranteed.
He blows Deshaun Watson.
So bad.
So bad, man. So bad. So bad. He doesn't look like an NFL quarterback anymore.
Nope.
That's what happens.
He's without the wishy-wash power.
Seriously, look at Tiger Woods. He stopped banging the It's true. It's true. You stop banging the Perkins Hostess, and look what happened to his game.
Oh my God.
Like Tiger used to rent out entire hotel floors so no one could see him in these escapades. His whole thing, it was like he had somebody working for him just for his affairs to hook up with, so he could have his women when he wanted to. You need that kind of stuff. And now this. Well, he just settled another lawsuit this week too.
Yep.
Sean Watson.
At least a millie.
Wow. Well, yeah. So he's totally cooked. I had a fun stat here. I got to find real fast. So,
is it actually fun or is it like sad fun?
No, it's not. Well, it's if you're looking for the Eagles to get pressure on the quarterback this week, Deshaun Watson's already been sacked 26 times through 5 games. So it puts him on track to be sacked 88 times, which would be a single season record. David Carr was sacked 76 times in 2002. Now there's an extra game now, but still. So the Eagles have 6 sacks on the season. Think about that. Watson's been sacked 26 times. He's also going to break at this pace, he's going to break the lost yards on sacks.
He's not going to make it through the season.
You're right.
He's tinfoil. He'll get shredded before he gets sacked that many times.
Well, he'll get benched. He can't. Well, he can't keep out there like this.
I can't believe I was so it ended up working out, or it didn't end up working out. Not the point. Whatever. They should have benched him for Jameis Winston halfway through that Washington game. Like, it's like you're telling me that Washington secondary gets shredded week after week after week after week after week by no-name wide receivers, and nobody could get open against them with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Mm-hmm. There's no way. It's like Jameis Winston at least would give you a chance to get the ball down the field.
Yep. No, you're right. He may throw an interception or two, but he's gonna air the ball out. No, they'd be better right now with Jameis Winston. As crazy as that is to say, Vincent. I mean, so Flacco actually he came back against Jacksonville. I don't know if you saw that game on Red Zone. It was the end of the 4 o'clock games before the 1 o'clock games before the Phillies game started. Flacco was he's airing the ball out. It's like, Jesus Christ, where was this a couple years ago, Flacco?
He's got the highest rating in the league right now.
Ah, man, he looked great at 39. But if you're committed to Deshaun Watson, you can't really bring Flacco back because every knuckle dragger in Cleveland is going to be like, "Oh, Flacco,
yep,
you got to bring him in."
It's the same thing with Foles and Wentz.
Yep. Oh, and you know what the best comp is? Jeff Garcia to Donovan McNabb. When Donovan got injured, Garcia came in and he saved the season and won all those games late. They win a playoff game that year. They lose to the Saints. Anyway, Garcia was great. And with Donovan's injury history, you would think that you want a top backup because he had been getting injured a lot. Now, they go out and draft Kevin Cobb, I think, that offseason or the season after. But the last thing you would do is bring Jeff Garcia back with Donovan McNabb as the starter. No chance. So the Eagles made the right move there. It didn't mean that it made their team better. But in the long run, you can't bring back a guy that's going to cause a quarterback distraction. But your quarterback also can't suck. Well, he did win a playoff game. All right, I thought he did.
It's like, look at the same situation with when you have an injury-prone guy like that. You need a good the Dolphins going into the playoffs or going into the season this year with Skylar Thompson as the backup when you have the most pressure or the most scrutinized injury quarterback in the league. Come on.
Yeah, it's a fireable offense.
And Watson's been hurt every year he's been in Cleveland, so why wouldn't you need a capable backup? But I mean, I guess Jameis is capable. But
no,
they just won't go.
They won't go to him yet. Yeah, he should have been in Miami.
The only reason he's not getting benched is because they're paying him $50 million, $46 million a year guaranteed.
If they cut him, I think his dead cap's $132 million.
Well, that's half your salary cap.
That's why it would be difficult to do. Everything's guaranteed. There's no, you're not writing off the fluff that's in a contract that's not real.
Right.
Everything's guaranteed. No, they're screwed. They are. They're screwed. I'm telling you, they're waiting for some other allegation to come out so they can try to bury that contract.
Terminate it.
Yep, for sure.
We'll pay you another $50 million if you go get yourself brought up on something.
God, it's just crazy. He was a good.
Oh, dude, I loved when he was in Houston. Like, I was obviously pre everything that came out about him, but like his game, he was a Clemson guy, and I couldn't stand him when he beat the shit out of Florida State every year. But it's just like, all right, in the league, I'm gonna support him. He's fun to watch. Like the game where he took the foot to the eye, that come back and get the Chiefs. Like, there was a lot of good games in there. And that quarterback doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Nope. No, he doesn't. It's over. It is over.
Until he plays our trash secondary this weekend,
Well, I saw someone put in the chat. It would be so Philadelphia sports that they get no sacks this week.
Oh, I was going to ask you, over under 2.5 sacks.
Under. Who's getting the sack? Who's getting a sack? BG.
And if it's not Carter, I don't know.
Bryce Huff.
I will bet anything that it's not Bryce Huff.
Not likely.
Dude, talk about another waste of money.
Well, Howie haters out there must be kind of salivating at the fact that it's not proving to be a good offseason for Howie Roseman when you look at all of the moves that he's made.
I'm not celebrating us being bad.
All right, so Saquon Barkley, good move, right? Excellent.
A+.
Excellent move. A+. He's been great. Now let's see what happens from here. Mekhi Becton, which I don't think they gave him a ton of money. He's a starter.
He got 1 year, $5 million.
Okay, well, that's a decent amount of money. Still a good move, right?
Yeah, it's fun. You're paying your starting guard $5 million? Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. Zach Bond. And
good move.
Yeah, good move. He's not making a ton of money. He made a couple $1 million. Good, definitely a good move. Bryce Huff.
F-.
Devin White will go down in history as never playing a snap for the Eagles. And he actually took a buyout to leave.
I don't get what happened there.
I think he wasn't a starter, and that wasn't going to be okay with him.
Okay, so they told him he was going to be the third middle linebacker, and he was like,
he wasn't active. Yeah, he wasn't active because he didn't play special teams. Oh, it's like he's a Super Bowl champion and a former Pro Bowler. I think that was difficult for his ego to handle. I don't know. Devin White, F-.
I mean, if he came into camp and lit it up like we thought he was going to, it wouldn't have been an issue.
How about this one? CJGJ. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I would say he's been slightly above average. There's been times where he's been cooked, but there's been other times where he's stepped up and made plays.
I wonder if he's good. I wonder if he's good for the locker room. He runs his mouth entirely too much. Sometimes that can be good for a team if the energy's coming from a good place or the right place. He just never shuts up. It's always something. Yeah. It's always something on social media. He's always running his mouth. Because then you have Slay on top of it. And
Slay is the worst. Slay's an F-.
I want him out of here so bad. No, but to your point, like bringing him back was a huge mistake. You could have moved on from him, and you didn't. Right? You brought back Bradbury, which another F-. But bringing back Slay is going to prove to be not a good move. He's still a decent player, but and then what are some other moves that he made? Like Paris Campbell, they didn't really pay him any money.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's a whatever. But there wasn't any like Patrick Robinson in 2017. I even know who he was. You know what I mean? He ends up playing a big part. He was a big part of that defense. He was
pick six in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, he was good all that year. So there haven't been many of those little moves. That year, Howie hit on every move that he made, even the little moves. And sometimes those little moves, like Matt Stairs or like Patrick Robinson, can be the difference between winning and losing. I mean, look at Matt Stairs and the home run. You mentioned the pick six from Patrick Robinson. They're two iconic, huge plays in those franchise. But yeah, like Matt Hennessy, Burks, John Ross, and I didn't think John Ross was going to make the team. I'm reading from Elliot's tweet here, by the way. He put this up there. So,
well, it's like I look at the 2017 season. I am so grateful that we won a Super Bowl and that monkey is off all of our backs and all that.
Yep.
But like, it still never made me think Doug Peterson was like a good coach. It still didn't make me think Howie was a great GM. It's like that. I always looked at that, like when that season ended, I just thought of it like that was like the equivalent of sitting at a craps table and the guy has the dice for 7 hours. It's like he just doesn't like
he ain't giving
like,
them up.
He's just like everything he throws, it's perfect. It's exactly what you want. It's like, and believe it or not, like I've been in like not for 7 hours, but like 3-4 hours, and it's just like it's got to end eventually. It's got to end eventually, and it just keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. It's like that season was just like every move they made, it worked. No one was like a flop. No one was a failure. Like Chris Long made an impact.
Big time.
Like Jay Ajayi was a great trade. Clement was a like undrafted rookie. Like, come on. Like, it was just one thing after another. Like, all these guys just hit. And it's like, it's hard to say you have a good GM, like, going forward now when it's, now you make these big moves and you're not even 50% on when you spend big money.
Yep. That's true.
It's like, cool. You got Barkley and you got Huff. That averages out to a C. Like,
yep. Wisniewski, they signed. Torrey Smith, they signed. Alshon Jeffrey. Nick Foles. Chris Long.
Brooks was right before that. Was the season before that, too, I think.
LeGarrette Blount.
Yep.
Corey Graham, who actually was, and that was late. That was in training camp. Traded for Ron Darby. Jake Elliott, you brought in when Caleb Sturgis got injured. God, Jake Elliott's been here that long.
Yeah, that was his rookie year.
He's like a kid. Yeah. They signed him off the practice squad from Cincinnati. So, all right, well, there you go. Elko Steve. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
I'm sad. That's just sad. It's been a rough week.
It has been a rough week. It definitely has. Yep. But hey, listen, there's always next year. As some construction guy today, because I had my Steve Jeltz Phillies jersey on. He's yelling at me when I'm going in the UPS store. You're like, you're going to be disappointed tonight. I wasn't talking to him or anything. I didn't say anything. He's yelling at me. And I'm like, why am I going to be disappointed tonight? The Phillies are going down. Like, all right, what are you, a Met fan? He's like, no, I like the Cardinals. And I'm like, all right, like, beat it.
I saw a guy with a 49ers construction helmet on the other day, and I'm like, dude, come on, wrong team. And he just looked at me and laughed, and I'm like, so I guess I'm one of those guys. Pointed out
2-3. Niners 2-3, right?
Yep. Yeah, they blew it to the Cardinals after their kicker got hurt.
Bad loss.
That's two teams that lost this year because of kicker. Giants and Niners.
Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile,
kickers are football players too.
Meanwhile, the Commanders are going to win the NFC East, and Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the division by far.
Maybe in the conference.
Holy crap, man! This dude's unbelievable. I was watching him again on Sunday, and they were rolling. Who were they playing on Sunday?
Browns.
The Browns, of course. They were rolling them. They had to settle for a field goal. Daniels made this throw to McLaurin, who dropped it in the corner of the end zone.
Oh, dropped it in a bucket.
It was an unbelievable throw. Like, he just opened the defender right in his hands, and McLaurin dropped it. But you couldn't have thrown a better ball. The effort that he puts into making these throws, he's got great touch. He's got a great arm. He's an amazing athlete who can run and be dangerous, but he doesn't overdo it. Right? Again, I would be worried about him taking a hit and losing them, but he's not really careless doing it. But he just needs to grow into his body a little bit more. But man, like this gets unbelievable.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem for us for a long time.
Yeah, and then I look at Jalen, who looks like a freaking game manager.
You're lucky if he's a game manager. I mean,
yeah, because he's not managing the game very well.
Right, he's turning the ball over. It's just if they can make it through this game with a W, I don't care how they do it, but without turning the ball over, I will be elated.
Yep.
It's bare minimum, win the game, no turnovers. That's it. That's all my requirements for this Sunday, and I'll be happy.
If Andy Dalton's the Eagles quarterback, what's their record right now? 2-2 at worst. Right?
I don't think they're much better.
Right, but the point is, you're the same record with Andy Dalton and Jalen Hurts, except you're paying Jalen Hurts $255 million. You have to have more impact than that.
Oh,
if Andy Dalton can get you 2 wins, Jalen Hurts better get you 3 at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're so lucky that Saquon dominated that game in Brazil, and that the Saints are just, I don't even know, like, couldn't capitalize on any mistake that we made in week 2.
Saints stink.
No, I agree.
I knew they were fraudulent.
Or week 3.
They've been exposed. They suck.
It's just they're about to be the Derek Carr out. They're about to go 0-4 their last 4. But it's like we're literally those 2 games away from Nick Sirianni probably should be gone. It's just as if they come out this week and if they lose to the Browns as 9-point favorites,
he gets fired.
100%. There's no way. There's no way.
I don't know about 100%, but don't think that it's not in the realm of possibility. We don't know.
Especially now the firing season started in the NFL. Like, and teams are going to be quick to pull the trigger.
If I could touch on that for a second, Robert Saleh getting fired by the Jets, there were a lot of people coming out and, how can you fire him? Oh, what a terrible franchise. Oh, it's so dysfunctional. He's not even going to get a chance to turn the season around. So if they turn the season around, how come that could have been Saleh? Like, give me a break. This guy sucked. He was a terrible coach. This was his 4th year in New York as the Jets head coach. He's a stone idiot. And
he's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he may be a good defensive coordinator. I've watched enough Jets games in prime time and on Red Zone to know he's not a good head coach. They're playing the Bills this week. They're 2-3. They would have gotten smoked by the Bills, and now they're 2-4, and they have a 40-year-old quarterback who already probably doesn't like Robert Saleh or doesn't think he's a good head coach or doesn't respect him. And you have an idiot offensive coordinator on top of it. So now at least it gives you the bump. I wouldn't be surprised if they won this week. Normally that first week. Yeah,
guaranteed win this week.
Yeah. It feels like too many people are saying that. So now I'm skeptical of it.
But this is the week that it happens, though. This is the week that it happens, though. And Sean McDermott, you want to talk about another freaking moron.
That was in recent memory, the way they managed that last offensive drive that cost them the game because they gave it back to Houston.
Like,
it's not an easy situation because you're inside your 5. They have all 3 timeouts. Really, you're just trying to get a first down so you can run the clock out and go to overtime.
3 shot plays.
Dangerous passes.
3 shot plays.
Dangerous passes. All of them.
Yep.
It was an offensive pass interference, so the ball didn't get intercepted. Then you throw another dangerous pass. Oh, my God, dude. I was furious because that was one of my plays. The Bills were one of my plays.
I had the over. I needed the overtime.
Right. So that's why you were paying attention.
Yeah, yes.
Me too.
Yeah, a $19 parlay to win $525.
Awesome.
Yep. Because I mean, not that I'm expecting to win. Like, believe me, I'm not. Like, I needed
but you'll want to.
I needed the perfect run out in overtime. But like, at least give me the shot to win it. Like, I'd rather have the 5% chance than 0. Like, but it's just like, how can you and I sitting here know that's the right play, but these guys that get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars still to this day don't understand that that's the right play, like how to manage these situations. It makes no sense to me. It's the Sirianni week 2 conversation all over again. Like, I know we disagreed on that one, but like we can agree that the way he did it wasn't right.
Right.
So
yeah, we definitely know that.
It's just brutal, man. It's just so brutal. Some of these guys, some of these guys are just so like they get away with murder, and it doesn't make sense. Like, thank God Saleh's gone. Thank God someone finally got the axe for being a moron.
So you have a 40-year-old quarterback. Does Aaron Rodgers look cooked to you? He's halfway there.
He's almost well done. He's not there yet. He's definitely past medium though.
Yeah. Can you win with him? I don't think you can, but you're not winning with Robert Saleh as the head coach. Honestly, I think this is the right move for the Jets. What are we talking about?
100%.
I was amazed at how many of the national media were like outraged. Like, I can't believe you get rid of him. He was terrible.
They loved him because he leaked them everything. he was always texting the media, so of course they want to keep him in there.
Yeah, screw him. All right. Anyway, well, yeah. So back to Nick Sirianni. Yeah, if he loses this week, the team falls to 2-3, and again, internally, you don't know what's going on. You don't know if Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are like, man, this is not good, and they're worried about whatever's going on. I don't think the guys hate Nick Sirianni, but wouldn't you agree? Like, there's something missing with the Eagles. You're Italian. You have an Italian grandmom that's making the sauce, and she's tasting it on the wooden spoon. She's like, it's missing something, and a pinch of salt makes it boom. It's like, that's it. The Eagles are missing something, and I don't know what it is, but I think it involves the head coach.
I'm not saying that the guys don't like him as a dude. Like,
agree,
but they also could like him as a dude and realize that he's not the right person for the job either. Like, I'm not saying that's the case, but like those two things can coexist. So
yeah, like they like him and they, like they're not running to Howie Roseman and saying, fire this guy, get him out of here, we hate him, but also realizing that he's not giving you the best chance to win strategically. Or when he talks, I wish I had this cut somewhere. I forget what it was, but it was a former player or a former coach, would have been Rex Ryan, but it said that like when he's talking to the team and because he says stupid shit at press conferences or he sounds like an idiot or at the very least awkward. Like when he's doing that in front of the team, what are the guys saying? What are the guys doing? They're like rolling their eyes at him. Yep. So like, yeah, like
all right, this dumbass.
Right. Like this is it. I don't think they respect him as a coach. Why would you? For like his offensive acumen or like all the success that he's had as a CEO head coach? No,
no, because he was recommended. He was only recommended by Frank Reich. So that sounds great.
Man, they didn't have anybody else to hire. He didn't have a suit. He had to go to TJ Maxx and buy a suit for the interview. Nick Sirianni.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that part of the story.
True story.
No shit.
He was on vacation when they called his agent, and his agent's like, "Yo, they want to interview you." Lurie,
and they were like, "Me? Like they have the right number? Like me?
Who? Nick Sirianni? Oh, yeah." So he had to go to a store to get a suit. It's like I forget, he might have been on vacation in like I don't know, like Florida somewhere. So he was like somewhat near because I guess Jeffrey Lurie he's like a mansion in Miami or something. Anyway, whatever. I got to get up at 4:00 in the morning. I got to go do dishes and stuff.
Yeah, I've had enough misery for the night anyway.
Yeah, well, I get to talk about it tomorrow morning. Fun. All right, Delco Steve. Enjoy, man. Go Flyers.
Go Flyers. I'll be watching on a don't no one tell. Well, I'll probably see what happens. Screw it. I'm watching on a replay Saturday morning. It's gonna suck.
So you're not gonna be able to stay up? You'll fall asleep?
No, I got my college roommate's wedding in freaking Jersey. Right. It sucks. So I thought the game was Thursday night, and then I realized it was Friday night this week. I'm son of a bitch.
So that just means that you'll be like drinking all night or whatever, and because they never have TVs at the wedding, right? I think. Well,
I'm in upstate Jersey, so it's not even like it's south. So it's not like when we go to the after party or whatever, there'll be a TV at the bar. It won't be a Flyers game, that's for sure.
So you're not going to be looking on your phone? Just look on your phone.
No, I'm going to look at my phone, but I'm going to watch it the next day for sure.
Okay.
Because I'm going to need to know what happened, but I'm going to want to watch the first game of the season. So I'll just record it and watch. I never watch games when I know the score already because I'm like, what's the point? I know the score, but I'll watch it just to see Mitch Goff's first game in the orange and black.
All right, Delco Steve. Everybody have a good night. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:00 on PHLY. Talk to you then.
Peace.